Looks like it's true. Not that I would know.
Ready when you are.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep. Good evening, we'll call the Watertown Park and Rec Commission, Crestbrook Park Golf Course Subcommittee to order at 5:59 p.m. Roll call.
Matt Ronaldi. Joe McGrail.
Ken LaRosa. Public participation, name, address.
Ozzie Bartlett, 54 Hart Street, Watertown, Connecticut.
No, he wants to talk. You talking?
We came by for is we want to try to set our date for our golf tournament. We've been on Saturdays for the last 7, 8 years, whatever it's been. We know you guys like to stop doing Saturdays. We just want to try to, you know, if we could stay the only group on Saturday, it's, you know, it's one day for out of the year, but you know, we do give you, last year was almost $4,000 that we paid for our tournament to the Park and Rec, and if we gotta change, we'll, you know, we're willing to change to someday, but we're just didn't know if it'd be easier if we did maybe a earlier tee offs than at 1 o'clock, or so you guys could still manage to do things. I know a lot of guys do come in the morning, play golf, and then they, you know, at 12 o'clock, you know, and then we start at 1. But you know, we're just, we want to set our date, so we just want to make sure we can talk to you guys first. And
I submitted, because we technically don't start looking at it until after January 2nd. That's when we'll really start reviewing tournament things. You could submit it with that date, and then it'll get this, you submit it for that meeting, it'll get discussed. And then we'll have they'll have an answer for you by the middle of January, because it's the first Thursday of the month. If you get in there for that first.
Well, I don't know, when's the tournament?
January 2nd. January 2nd is the first Thursday.
What is the proposed date for the tournament?
August 16th. I think the third Saturday of August. We just like to, you know, because we try to get it out there and tell everybody save the date, and all that, you know, as soon as possible. You know, we start really pushing sponsors and everything right after the first of the year, so it's just, we just wanna.
So get it to, I would get it to us for that meeting, January 2nd. You can get it in earlier. You know, you can get in the middle of December, it won't come to us till the beginning, till that meeting. But then that way, it'll be on our agenda, it'll be under our new business, and it will be definitely be discussed that night.
Okay.
The meeting in January.
The meeting in
So
January.
so get it in before the end of December.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can work on that.
And that way we'll have a definitive answer for you.
So, you know, kind of from an administrative perspective, we're going to be penciling in dates so that we don't, if we get people asking for the same date,
Yeah,
there'll be like a first right of refusal, we can let them know that it's unlikely, or there's already somebody that's put it for this date. So we don't have multiple people asking for the same date.
So you're suggesting they pencil in the 16th?
The application.
the better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Alright,
All right.
I can work on it. He's with me.
You're just a bodyguard. We know he's an old, grumpy old guy.
Keep them in line.
All right.
This is for which?
August.
August 16th,
Troop
252.
52, okay.
I know for the restaurant, it works better for them, you know, a lot better too. Because Sunday, they're usually closed, and you know, they would have to bring in staff just for But however, whatever,
So is at that time of year, the restaurant has to be open for their contract.
No, we're all.
You're open, we follow the contract.
Any other public, that's it, you can stay,
no,
you can,
we can,
head out if you want, no problem, whatever you want to do.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
we
you.
just
Thanks,
want to express our, you know,
Most definitely.
thank you, gentlemen, for letting us,
Why don't you drive once in a while, I miss you on Friday. Why do you drive, I miss you on Friday, it's the other grumpy old man.
we just want somebody who knows how to drive.
Yeah.
The building.
All right, Joe's here for the meeting, so he's not public participation. Move on to approval of minutes for October 3rd, regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting from October 3rd.
Second,
All right, any additions, subtractions, deletions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Correspondence,
Okay, I'm sorry, who made the motion?
that's really hard, it's Pat and Joe,
Pat and Joe.
Yeah, in that order.
in that order. I have it written down. We have a request from the Sunset Grill for their car show, which will come up later on under A, new business A. All right, so we'll start with, we'll go to reports, move on to the chairman's report. Michael was informed that our golf pro will not be back next year. So, no real reason given, they couldn't come, they discussed a little bit of it, just could not come to terms, they're too far apart, so he decided that he was gonna move on.
All right,
So we're gonna start
looking.
we're gonna revamp the, I don't call it the application, but the thing that goes out, the contract that goes out to solicit help. And we'll take it from there. Michael, let him tell you all the things he wants to do. Or we should incorporate back into the pro shop, but, as well, everybody know that, as of December 31st, Marty will be done.
Okay.
Other than that, golf course is open. Steady play this weather, I mean, with this weather, the place has been a zoo. I tried to play 18 yesterday, I only managed to get 9 in because it was a little on the slow side and I didn't want to finish in the dark. Course was in beautiful shape, everybody says, we need rain, we had enough of it 2 months ago, but you do need some, they could use a little rain up there, but the grounds were immaculate, leaves were at a minimum, I know they've pretty much all fallen, but I went by in the middle of the day, the guys were out there blowing the leaves off the greens, off the fairways. So I think we keep playing like this, we'll get a lot more play going in, and they did a great job, they're managing the leaves fantastic, so there can't be many more that are gonna fall. Just what blows out of the woods, got some to stay on top of. So all in all, of course, it was in great shape. So we'll just move on to our directors. What's it?
Culverts.
They're working on they're working on the culvert. That washed out from the first storm.
August
So, yeah,
August 18th.
August 18th, so they finally, money was approved at the town meeting. And it's gonna fall, I'm sure it's gonna fall in the FEMA in the end, right?
It should, yes, it could be reimbursed partly.
So. That's in progress, they're almost done, but that was in progress when we were there yesterday.
Okay.
All right, any questions?
No.
Okay, all right, move on to the director's report.
All right, just a few things that have been, that I can report this evening are, as we know, as kind of told you that Marty is not going to renew his agreement. So we're going to take a look at what the needs are, update any job descriptions as may be required. Take a look at comparable, pay based on performance, expectations, things like that, maybe shift some responsibilities to other people. for example, the driving range is something that the golf pro manages, maybe that's not something, maybe that's something we can do with other people, I'm not sure, it's something we can think about. Is that something that the starter rangers and cart keepers can manage if they're not doing other things? Because I think that's a hard thing for the pro to manage so if we give the pro a little bit more money and not give commission on the range, those are things that I'm going to wanna
You're gonna review.
put into financial, data.
Yeah.
To reach that, so that we can review and see what it is, cause we may have to do hybrids of some of these things. Depending on who comes in, so. I know that, I think the sooner we get the word out that we will be looking for part-time seasonal staff to be at the golf course, the better. Because if we wanna try to have 2.5 people up there all day, every day during operations. We need a roster of like 10 people, unless you're gonna have people working over 40 hours a week, so if you're gonna have 18 hours for this person, about 24 hours, 18 to 24 hours. You need to have enough number of people to fill those slots. So I know we didn't there's a couple of starter rangers that didn't return, one was let go and another is not returning. So if you guys know people that would like to take advantage or help or have a part-time gig, we're looking for people. You don't have to be a golfer, we could provide some training. So cashiers is something that we're looking for. We could have people that are only comfortable doing the cashier, then we could put people to work, they don't necessarily have to have knowledge of golf. I think sometimes the test is, can they work in a kitchen? We need people that can work in a kitchen. We were up 246 rounds in October as compared to 2023. That's a nice trend. Marty Burns had 2 successful 9 and die, one for Halloween, averaged about 24 players. He introduced fall 2-man scramble, open to anyone on Monday afternoon, and he will be putting together a 2-man scramble tournament on Black Friday, November 29th, in honor of Louis Oria. Did I say that right? Anybody know? Oria. A longtime member who recently lost his battle with pancreatic cancer. Well, so those are some of the highlights at Crestbrook. We're of course working on the budget, which includes calculating what our forecasting what we might need to budget for various things, including fertilizers and chemicals. We have deadlines for that. The department should be in good shape to be able to have a draft of our budget for the entire department within the next few days, I hope. And our deadline so I'm going to, our numbers are probably gonna be interesting to look at. So I think I'd like a draft to discuss with the various people before we go with something that might be the first budget that we build from the brick. So the way we're doing it is brick by brick. We're not taking any line and just copying and pasting. We've got to. So if we spend $45,000 or $70,000 at the golf course purchasing chemicals, I've been directed to present how we came to spending that $70,000. So some of the kind of things that I'm building now as a staff, and we've got a great team in these offices here. We would say, all right, if 50 pounds of a certain fertilizer, what's the unit price of that 50 pounds? How many pounds did we buy? So once we figure that out, we can move our budget depending on the unit price of the unit.
Yep.
So once we plug all that in, it's very easy to be able to say, okay, if we need more, here's what more is going to cost the town, and then the town of course will say, that's fantastic, we'll give you whatever you need, thank you.
But excuse me, on the unit cost, does it give you the cost of what the average coverage would be for fertilizer? Like it covers 100 square feet or
I don't know about me diving that deep
Okay.
for this budget cycle, but
Okay.
that's a nice comment to be able to, I think we could certainly quantify that.
Yeah, because the bank usually says cover something.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mike, is it possible, to see if there's a co-op out there of other golf courses in the area? You could buy it as in bulk. So if you had 3 or 4, golf courses come in and you buy it from the same company, will you get a better price?
Good idea, that's what I do with my oil.
So just a thought, I mean, it's,
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna look up.
sometimes the state has a co-op too.
well, that's like a lot of police cruisers and a lot of stuff like that, they come out with
Yeah.
bulk buying. So just.
Yeah, and let me, and before I just say, oh, there's not that many vendors, which I'm sure there are, but I wanna know that before I make that statement, but I would guess there's not too many people that are transporting fertilizer and have licenses to do what's required. It's pretty well regulated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I have for the report.
So we'll move on, no foreman, I'm taking that off because we won't be the golf pro, we all know about the golf pro. Now we'll move on to restaurant representative, Joe.
Seasons for us is just about coming to an end. Restaurant right now is open from Monday through Saturday. Special parties every day, agreements and such. Of course, Snack Shack is open every day, and it was a good year. Had a great liaison, I believe, with Ray. I think he'll say the same thing with the restaurant. And Marty, sorry to hear. To me, that's sad news.
We all agree.
And we had a great working relationship with the pro shop. The cost of doing business is sky high. Our restaurant, I won't say is in trouble, but we're on a thin line. Very, very thin line. Like to generate a little more town business. We're trying to advertise in places, do a few more community events. I do get, and I'm not ashamed to say, we have some town agencies, and to see them go to another town for a venue, it hurts a little bit. And our own senior centers, we get senior centers from every other town. Watertown's the only senior center from the area that doesn't even give us a play. And that's a little, and they'll say a price or this and that. They've never come to negotiate any kind of price. So stuff like that really does bother you. I enjoy doing our work with special citizens, police department, fire department, and the other agencies. But like I say, there's more that we could do to just help us. The cost of living just went sky high. And I know you had to go up on our rent this year. That was your, right? No one's going up on rents because businesses are in trouble, guys. Cost of food up 40%. 40%. It's sad. And how do you make any money? But we're going to continue to fight. I talked to Michael. He did have a concern about parking, and I would like a letter from Park and Recreation to the Crestbrook to Sunset Grill, so we can put that letter out so our staff sees it. If they get a ticket or something after that, shame on them. But like, I had a nice conversation with Michael before we start putting up signs and this and that. Let's try to work it out. And the best way to do that would just let them know. Don't park up top. Don't park around the corner. Don't, And that's that was a fair request, Michael, by the way. And, because I'm guilty of this sometimes myself.
But you guys have to police yourself also.
That's what I just said.
Okay, all right, okay.
But also.
You guys, you can't just say, give us a letter and if they get a
I
ticket.
want the letter.
I know that, but that's fine, but your head chef, your banquet person, whoever's has to say, yo, you can't be parked there.
That's why I want that.
Okay, I just,
But also,
Ken,
I'm just saying, you gotta self-police.
and you just heard what I said, I've been guilty of it.
I know you have.
but also,
We can go at you for it. I yell at you.
Thank you.
I think it's a good idea. You get them a letter, you get to use it to help police yourself. But isn't there, and the reason I'm asking this is because you said instead of putting signs up, isn't there an issue also with other people besides the restaurant staff parking in these? But that's why we may need those signs regardless.
That would be your decision.
Yeah, but so it wouldn't be because we don't wanna offend you or the staff, but it might be something we need to do
You
anyway.
are not gonna offend me one bit. And honestly, like I
But
said,
the letter's a good idea.
that's for our sake, for
Yeah.
our staff. After that, if our staff does it, shame on them.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked to them before, but like I say, I've unloaded stuff and.
But unloading's not a problem, it's, you
Well,
don't
yeah,
stay
Then
there.
I leave it there,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Me, Ken.
I thought we were talking that we were gonna do a courtesy for a period of time. And instead of handing out tickets, didn't we talk about that? About putting have a note put on the car, hey, you're illegally parked, we're gonna give you a pass this time, type of thing. I thought we talked about, instead of handing out
We're
hard
not
tickets.
we're gonna try to do this with letters, with communication,
Right.
maybe paint some line striping, some fire lanes and things like that, that makes it more obvious to not park there, things like that. Too many signs that just become ugly, unsightly, and now we're left to enforce them and not enforce them. Sometimes the ends don't justify the means, so I wanna walk before we run.
Yeah.
That's a good, and
We
Joe's on board.
had a little luck this year, you know, I put up the cones, so. But the golfers still, you know, they'll go in there, but I'm not gonna fight with guys, I'm not gonna fight over parking on Sundays. When we have a bereavement or we have a shower, we have a lot of handicapped people. Yeah, the veteran signs that help, the handicap signs help, but you know golfers. I'm one of them. And
You park illegally.
They get whatever, you're not gonna, I've never parked on a handicap, I can say that. Well, I hear what Michael's saying, and it didn't fall on deaf ears, that's why I want the commission to know that. The other thing was, I applied on 10/10/24 for our car show. June 22nd, 2025, with a rain date on the 29th. I checked to see if there was any golf tournaments for that day, to see if there was any special banquets or anything for that day. There was none. So I made sure, I know you like to get things in ahead of time. This year we had great success, few to zero complaints. And we would like to do it again next year.
2 minor complaints.
I didn't get any from the pro.
The guy that laid one strip down, had a bridge, and then the guy that laid the double strip down.
Billy, that's
It's,
a car show.
Joe, you said a rain date,
Yes,
okay, now we give you one now, we don't schedule, we try to do tournaments every other weekend for the business, that's
Right.
tying 2 weekends up in a row. So if it is Sunday, then we don't have time to schedule another tournament for the 29th.
okay, well, can we do the June 22nd, and then I can get maybe a July rain date?
We try to keep it so that we're not.
what were you asking for, the 22nd and then what was the
22nd.
I had it all
Yeah, 29th.
It's on the agenda.
So you're still gonna do it, because the car show's done at 2:00. We're out of there. And the golf, we, like Marty had, like I say, we worked real hard this year with parking. As a matter of fact, we wrote out a check to the gentleman that just left, and that's, he helped with parking, Ozzy. We wrote him on a nice check from the proceeds of the car show to the Boy Scouts. So, I mean, it's trying to keep it in town. We do have the noise permit, and we will renew that on the first week of January. And that works out well with the police department. We had very minimal noise complaint this year. The lady wasn't standing at the top of a driveway like she did the year before. She lives up the road on the right-hand side. Neighbors seem to like us,
Hey, you made
but there's always
adjustments.
work we could do.
Yep.
Always better.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Billy, what you're saying, on that, and, I will pass that along. Of course, you have to okay the first date
Yeah.
before we do. But that's, about it. Again, I'm sad about Marty. He was a good man. I don't know, the price of doing business for golf pros, so that's up to you. I hope we get someone we can really work with next year. That's halfway decent, because in the past, you know, there was at the town still having issues with, so. But I wanna thank you for listening to me and
Thank you.
giving me your time.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
I think to Joe's point, maybe it's a little bit out of sorts here, but when you get down to the final 2 or 3 people, if you have 5 people that apply for the job as pro, maybe the couple of them, the last couple, you introduce.
So, I mean, I was a member of Park and Rec for,
So-
11+ years, so.
So, you know, I wouldn't say you'd have a vote, but
No,
you just do
So listen.
the introduction, and just so you sort of get a vibe maybe
Well,
of who can work together.
thank you, Joe, that's a compliment.
Thanks, Joe. Then we'll move on. We've got, old business, and there is none. Then we'll move on to new business, which is A, which is review and consideration of submitting applications and terms for 2025. The ones we do have, the only one we have is the Sunset Grove Car Show on Sunday, June 22nd, is a rain date of June 29th. Starts at 9 AM to 3 PM, open to the public. He wants an age group of 1 to 100 years old. So if you're 101, you can't go. Okay.
Not 9 to what?
Especially
9
if they
PM
drive
to 3
there.
PM.
2. Last year was 2.
2.
We decided, we had a big discussion on that. It was 2.
What is that, Bill?
Last year, we had discussion, it was 2. Now this application says 3.
To end, the end date, end time.
Yeah, ending time would be 2, which they made last time.
I think you even said 2 PM,
Usually, yeah, it ends,
so we're gonna change it to 2.
sure.
Back lawn requested, back lawn, which is your lawn, down below,
It's
or,
the town's lawn,
well, next to the restaurant,
yes,
in the parking, your side of the parking lot.
yes,
And then also, any overflow can also go up
yes.
to the others, to C or B, whatever lot, that other lot. Will it generate noise? Yes. Attached is a copy of the town permits, which they're not attached, but like I said, he has to renew it as of January 1st. At which time, I'm sure he will submit a copy to Park and Rec.
Yeah, I have my part, I have the copy right here,
Yeah.
so if you need the noise permit.
No, just when you have to renew it on the 1st, right?
Right,
So just when you do, just have to bring it down, just bring it down.
sure.
They can put it with this. Joe, and he submitted in October, it came to us today. So then I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the Sunset Grove Car Show on Sunday, June 22nd, 2025, from 9 AM to 2 PM. I'm gonna remove the rain date for now, which we can discuss a rain date at a future meeting or future time. And everything else seems okay.
I'll second that motion.
Comments,
Accept it.
concerns? All those in favor? Opposed? All right.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. We have the discussion, they're moving on to B, which is discussion of 2025 rates. I'm gonna table for a little bit until next month, just because we have more priority going on with program now. And
I'm Jess is pushing us a little bit for, maybe for publication purposes and things like that.
okay,
Do we maybe try to? What's the holdup? Why would we,
you said last meeting, let's wait. I
okay,
could wait till after, you actually said could wait till after the first of the year if it had to.
and I think,
I will tell,
receive new information that, and we're not gonna try to change these, the surcharge this year.
well, that's the main thing in this, the consensus among us was not raising our greens fees, not raising our cart rates. The one adjustment was gonna be to remove the season passes with the surcharge.
So they all operate the
They
same
all
way,
operate the same, that was, I'm assuming that was our consensus,
to simplify things.
to simplify things.
Okay,
And then maybe raising the weekend rates for 18 holes to a flat, I think it was,
I don't remember what it was, but yeah.
I don't quite every. I had come up with 3 different scenarios.
okay,
One of them was don't do anything, just continue status quo. Share with me while I look for it. I really wasn't prepared to.
Will we talk about this
I have a
year?
half hour.
What's that? I think
I have a half hour.
Well, we don't know yet, but I assume we'll be profitable this year.
we had A, which was going to be no increase across the board. I had B, which was an increase of season passes with an increase of weekends before 1 PM of $27 to $27.50 for 9 and 18. And then I had a C, which was no greens fees except for the weekends before 1, because he gets a lot of business before 1, and he thinks you can make more money on a Friday morning, Saturday morning, Sunday morning. And then elimination of surcharge fee, and no increase to the other passes.
right, but you said eliminate the surcharge?
Eliminate the surcharge, and what I put down here, the $100 each pass should go to the surcharge fund.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that clearance through the finance office before we wanna publish these rates.
Okay,
So we maybe consider just about everything but the changing the surcharge, leave whatever there is alone.
then we just leave it the way it is and don't do any changes unless you want to go up on season passes. I don't think we can go up on greens fees because I have everybody else's greens fees. And we're right, we're more expensive than the lower tier courses. And we're a little less expensive than the tier us are a little higher than us. So we're right in the middle. I'd be too afraid to really mess around right now.
Okay.
Golf has slipped down a little bit due to the economic downfall we've experienced the last couple of years. That's where I think we stand. I mean, do we want to do a little bump on season tickets?
So what's the rush of doing this right now?
I think we wanna publish this book for one.
Okay.
The only reason I'm asking, Mike, is
Gift cards and stuff like that for
for the holidays.
But see, I mean, we had, I'm gonna use this figuratively. This was blessed by Marty. Okay,
Yes.
we talked to Marty and but now Marty's gone. So now, what's your guesstimate, and I know it's just a wild ass guess, of us putting a proposal out there for a new pro, and how long is it gonna take us to get a new pro? I know it's a wild,
Well, we will have to do two things, the golf course will have to be run in the absence of a pro,
okay,
until we hire a pro.
okay. So my only thought was that, you know,
Well,
if
we
we,
won't get it posted and approved until probably maybe 30 days, and then you've got to leave that open for a month. Interviews,
Yeah, it'll be tight.
interview is gonna take a month,
you know,
hiring is gonna be a month.
so I'm just saying, you know, do we wanna give the new guy or new girl, you know, a chance to look at this before we actually publish it? Do we have that luxury, or we don't?
That's why I was gonna say, leave it the way it is, and then we have the opportunity to review it with the new pro and see for next year.
If we
Maybe
leave everything
changes.
the way it is, at least it gives us a baseline.
Yeah.
And I'm not having to change
That's right.
or do math to figure out apples and apples, right, when we're comparing revenue and
Mhm.
number of rounds and things like that.
For
So
this
then we
year,
can't have somebody say, well, they went up, so I didn't come, or.
Alright, for this year, just leave it, I think.
okay, then we can vote on it right now.
I'm okay with voting.
All right, then I'm gonna make a motion that for 2025 Crestbrook rates, they remain the same as 2024.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Those in favor? Opposed? All right. That, yeah, that's still, just so Mike, that still has to go to town council for final approval.
Okay. And we believe that we're going to capture more rounds played by keeping the rates the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna lose any because people aren't, well, they went up and all of a sudden,
Why does it have to go to town council, I'm just curious?
because every time we do a rate increase or decrease, it has to go to town
And we're
council.
not changing it.
But they need, it needs, still needs their approval.
Who brings it, Mike?
Mike, I help put it on the agenda.
Every year, those maintenance shoes.
So. All right,
Is that gonna limit how much you get off to the new pro?
No,
No.
it shouldn't.
It should,
Okay.
Well, we can offer them up to what we were offering Mark.
well, that's what we have, well, yes,
Okay,
that's a lot of discussion we're gonna be having over the next few weeks about what other courses are
What
paying.
other
what
incentives?
Other incentives are.
Okay.
So when you went around looking at some other area golf courses, did you get into finances with them at all?
There's more investment, at least in the one course that I visited. I haven't done much more research beyond that, but I also know that the industry is of the golf pro. It's different than it's a different job than it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Golf has, like all industries, have realized their value and said, I'm a golf pro, I really, to be a cashier for most of the day and have to take a call that somebody can't come in today to operate the carts, now you're operating the carts.
Right, no, I get that, I saw that myself.
Yeah.
That's the
You're
point.
going to a golf course management type of system, managers. And you got golf pros that you can get under contract to pay so much for doing the lessons and stuff that
Right.
golf pros want to do. So now you can actually look at having a golf pro paying you.
So I was gonna say, do we need
Yeah.
a golf pro? I think we talked about this
We talked
when we
about this
hired
last
Marty.
time, yes, we did.
Like, maybe we can just get managers to manage it.
I mean, we need somebody with experience to be able to know how to run that,
Mm,
efficiently run the golf course.
mm.
That's what we need, and I don't know if there's fancy computer apps now that
Right.
the next generation can use, in addition to the software we already have up there. I mean, short of having GPS on cars, which we're not going to have, is there a way that system almost is, any one of us could do it, for example, if it were that
Right, right.
AI friendly.
But I think I think where Marty became a favorite of a lot of golfers. I mean, he had his PGA card, right? And I don't know if he ever got it back again, but I know he had it at one time.
No, he hasn't got that.
Okay, so, but he used to go up to the driving range, and if he saw you were going a little bit funky with something, he would sort of go up and just say, you know, move your foot or something, he'd walk away, he wouldn't charge you for it. But he had that camaraderie with people, so you gotta have someone at least with that base, you know, a pretty good knowledge of golf. You know, and preferably a PGA card, that can do that little stuff, and maybe that leads to lessons. And that sort of helps him grow his, you know, pocketbook, you know, get some money in there, so. So yeah, so I think the answer is, I think we really need to have the highest possible or closest possible to a PGA Pro as we can get. If we can't officially get one.
I don't know, I don't know, I don't totally disagree with that, but I don't totally agree with neither. I mean, I think part of what we had with Marty was that, when he interacted with people, he was friendly, his demeanor, he was outgoing. So I think that attracted people too. Was it the fact that he was a golf pro, or was it the fact that he was the manager running the place and had a good attitude versus the guy that we had prior?
No, I mean, he did give lessons, I mean, so.
Well, we gotta have lessons,
Yeah.
we gotta provide lessons, so we gotta look to see how we build that into maybe the whole.
And a youth program.
And that's where you need your pro, that's
Yeah,
why.
that's where you
want
need
the
the
program.
program, that's absolutely, that I agree,
You know.
that's right.
Did
But-
the equipment say that he?
No, he owns everything in that.
Are you gonna?
It's possible that the industry is trending towards a different model.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna have to, the government's not gonna move quickly to adapt
Yeah.
to this new model. We're just gonna have to do the best we can and control what we can.
Can we share golf pros across, courses?
Probably.
You know, so you have a manager running the place, and then you have a golf pro that's at ours 3 days a week, and he's at the other one 3 days a
Possible,
week.
you got
or- I don't
tennis,
know.
you have tennis pros that are on circuit giving tennis lessons. You know, until we put it out there.
Alright, it's just some things to
Are
think
you gonna
about.
run in this by that person you were talking about, that you went to talk, to see?
Yeah. Like I said, I think we're now on the fast track, the faster track. I was hoping that I had one more year to try to create.
Right.
At least some of what.
Yep.
They had at Timberline, but
So he's a wonderful guy, I mean, this, you can't ask for much better than Mark. I mean, so if you can just get into his head and learn stuff from him, what's only gonna help you, you know, to go through this whole process.
You get a jerk as a pro, you're a bad person.
Right.
Because of course, the word of mouth goes
Yeah.
around so quick.
Go back and read some of the reviews we've got.
Exactly, that's what I was getting at.
6-7 years ago. Before, you know,
We-
before we hired Marty.
Joe and I felt it.
Yeah.
Face to face running tournaments and with the old pro.
Yeah.
Wasn't nice. You know.
That's more discussion for
Yeah.
later on. Then we'll move on to new business C, which are 2025 commission meetings schedule.
I'm sorry, Ken,
Yes,
you made a motion that the rates stay the same. Who seconded that?
Joe. So the dates are January 2nd, February 6th, March 6th, April 3rd, May 1st, June 5th, July 3rd, August 7th, September 4th, October 2nd, November 6th, December 4th. So I'm gonna make a motion, we accept them. And then,
I'll second that.
Didn't print the packet.
No, the only date on there that might have a conflict, and
it's July 3rd.
like we do every year, if we get to the point saying, cause if it's Thursday, the 4th is Friday, 4-day weekends, people going away. When we get into May, like we normally do, we'll say, no, Michael can't make it, Joe can't.
Yeah, we don't have a quorum.
We won't have a quorum, we'll cancel the meeting for July. You know, Standard procedure we've done in the past.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who seconded that one?
Pat,
All right, motion to adjourn,
So moved.
second,
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, 6:43. Sign that.
And I know golf season isn't over yet, but we have no visit from Wayne the Bull. Knock on wood. No Wayne the. Call the meeting to order at 7 P.M. Meeting of the Watertown Parks and Recreation Commission, regular meeting. Roll call, please.
Ken La Rosa.
Johnny Brown.
Margaret Jermaine.
Alan Nichols.
Pat Rinaldi.
Bill Johnson. Okay, we have no one here for public participation, so I will move on to the approval of the minutes for Thursday, October 3rd, 2024.
Make the motion to accept.
1 second.
Is there any further discussion, corrections, deletions, comments?
Al this,
Who moved?
1 and Al 2.
Thank you. Okay, give him a chance to catch up. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried by unanimous vote. Correspondence. The only correspondence that I got was from Carrie DeNorfield. And she went down on Friday, October 4th. There was a middle school pool party. Just for kids 6 to 8. And the favorite part was jumping off the diving board. Go figure that out. Had 42 kids.
Nice.
Good attendance. Saturday, October 5th, another townwide tag sale. 34 participants. The weather was absolutely great. Not a good turnout. Okay. We got some new classes: women's self-defense, cardio karate, art classes, chair yoga, kids yoga, children's play group, little scientists, adult open gym, basic first aid and CPR, Zumba, ball till you fall, and dance classes. The only question I would have on that is the chair yoga. Isn't that counterproductive for like couch potatoes for guys with their sports?
No, cheer, there's,
It's good for
It's a
people,
good
especially
show.
people our age. It's good for couch potatoes.
yes, it is.
Okay. They have the tryouts for the boys and girls travel leagues, and obviously the boys and girls that don't make those teams are assimilated right into the regular town teams, are correctly, so the kids aren't left out, they're able to play, there is a place for them to play if they want. Second annual Halloween Zombie Escape Road Race, held on October 13th. Again, the weather was great. It said they had 26 kids for 1K and 36 runners for the main race. So it's a growing thing. The 15th of October, Watertown Fall Festival had the wrap-up meeting. And questioning next year, so what we're gonna do. And the Fall Festival seems to pretty much have peaked, pretty much the same every year. Obviously, kind of growing, but they're not losing. So I mean, they're pretty much a steady thing from year to year. And it said they had Halloween bingo, 7 to 11-year-olds on Thursday, October 17th. They got to dress in their Halloween costume, enjoy the game of bingo. And they had their second annual Tricks or Treats on Sunday, October 27th, held at the Watertown Dog Bark Park. It was a little bit windy that day, but they still had 15 brave dogs in the room to show up for some treats. 4 dogs were awarded for the scariest, funniest, most creative, and best overall Halloween costumes. No, I did not win any of the categories. Okay. One thing I will say about the dog park is I've been down at Unico watching my granddaughter for her travel soccer team. And every night, going in and out of there, parking lot's full. A lot of people use it. Just sad it took so long, it took us over 5 years to get it completed, but once it was completed, everybody. Using it. So that's a good thing to see that, you know, something was put in, it's getting a lot of use. The trunk or treat was held on Sunday, October 26th in the high school parking lot. Okay, a safe and family environment for trick or treaters. Again, prizes were awarded to best organization, scariest, and most creative trucks. And last but not least, on the 31st, Watertown Fire Department again, along with Park and Rec Department, sponsored the annual celebration of mischief and merriment. Halloween treats, games, and much more was given out between 6 and 8 p.m. at Watertown and Oakville firehouses. And that's gotten to be an annual tradition in town as well. Right? The second piece of correspondence that I got, which we'll discuss later on, is just the meeting schedule for next year. Okay,
I have a question.
yes,
Some of those, like the self-defense class and things, they have them here, right? And do they have to pay for using the rooms or getting the rooms, or is it?
No,
because
None of those things.
It's a park and rec function,
Okay,
so.
but basketball and swimming does have to pay some custodial fees,
sure,
which is built into the price that we charge the users of the program.
okay.
A lot of these ones that are
That are here.
that room or whatever, yeah, that's,
Those are-
those
got
are
it.
programs,
Okay.
things like that. Okay, chairman's report. Next big item coming up for us is Santa comes to town. Black Friday, 29th. Anybody here is more than welcome to go up and help. Contact Juliana. Juliana is overseeing everything with that, Michael's direction. And they did talk me into being the Grinch. If any of you have any suggestions how to be Grinchy, let me know.
You're perfect.
Are you gonna be?
Just ask the kids at Justin.
Yeah. Paint you green.
Do you have a costume?
Does he need a?
I haven't seen it.
So there is a Grinch costume.
I hope so, I don't think so. They got me
I can read your
partially
mind.
as an elf to stand in front of the gazebo to help people up and down, but now I'm gonna be the Grinch, I'm assuming that I'm gonna have a Grinch kind of.
Grinch is green, isn't
I have a
Yeah.
Grinch sweater in case you need one. We'll see.
I just want you to know, a casual observation is Kenny does not read the Wall Street Journal, because the comment he just made, he would have seen there's over 10,000 comedians applying for jobs.
Good thing I'm working.
Winding down with all the fall stuff, baseball, lacrosse and soccer's are all starting to finish up. So there's like a 2 or 3 week layover between the basketball season and things like that. Ice skating, we did have an ice skating time up at Taft. So we're up and running with that. The nice thing about that is there's 2 rinks, but they don't use the new rink for Watertown free skate. They use the old rink, and the old rink is, reserved for the scholastic stuff up there. As you know, the end of the year, we're gonna be losing Kenny. Kenny's has told me he decided not to help after 20-something years. Longest tenured commission member. Okay, gonna do what I will be doing at the end of next year, end of my term, is spending time with the grandkids and the family. At that time, they're much younger guys, the Pats and the Crims.
Yeah.
Younger guy, just say younger. We forgot that part.
You're gonna be out at Dunkin' Donuts with me, out the pasture.
No, I'm gonna volunteer for that job at the golf course.
There you go.
There you go. Why not?
Well, you're
hired.
So it's been a very quiet month as far as the chairman goes. I still get around to see the parks and everything, and guys are doing a good shape with getting the leaves off of the various things, especially at the golf course, which can be very aggravating for people that know that the ball just rolls under the leaves. You're trying to middle of the fairway and you can't find your ball because it's under the leaves. And the golfers can tell you, Joe, it's aggravating. So other than that, that's it for the chairman's report. The director.
Thank you. Evening, everybody, good to see you. All right, we're very busy in the office, and I wanna make sure that I take an opportunity to praise everybody that works in all of the divisions. We've got a Cracker Jack team in this office, Social Services is working extremely hard this time of year, processing a number of applications for Thanksgiving baskets, food donations, food distribution. Very, very busy time of year. So lots of applications coming in, fuel assistance, things like that. And those same things are happening at the senior center. We recently had some new tables at Lake Winnemod. Go over there if you get a chance to drive by, look under the gazebo to see the new tables that were purchased. They're intended to be accommodating for folks in wheelchairs, so when we pave the part of the parking lot next year, if somebody comes in with a wheelchair, they can wheel right underneath the wheelchair and sit comfortably underneath there. We've been pretty busy on the budget. As I think I mentioned in previous meetings, we're trying to present a budget where we have to build it to show where we are. We're coming up with numbers, just can't plug and play numbers from previous years. I need to be able to explain why it is I'm asking for certain numbers. So we're putting all of that together. It's like putting pieces to a puzzle together, kind of fun. Hopefully, we've got a lot of pieces and they're gonna come together nicely for us in the next, we hope in the next week or so, we'll start putting pieces to the puzzle together to see what our vision for the department what the investment will be for our vision. And then I'll present it to you folks and present it to the town manager. And, just like that, we'll be providing great services to the community and will continue to do so. Do be prepared that costs are rising. Minimum wage goes up significantly, and as minimum wage increases, so does the cost of doing business for all of the things that we're doing in town. So remember to communicate with your neighbors and your friends the value added of doing the things that we do in town. Better quality of life and what that means for people that live in town and visit town. I'm very excited with the economic development that's happening on Main Street. I think that's part and parcel for a community that can sustain certain charm. And with that, people will attend our special events and functions and programs. So I think it's all interconnected. I've been having some brief conversations with our new economic development director. I hope to be able to have some more soon. In our parks, John reported that he's overseeded and fertilized the athletic fields. The fountain has been removed from Echo Lake. We're getting Christmas lights ready now, and of course, the main focus has been fall cleanups. And as soon as they're done with fall cleanups, they'll be building up equipment for the springtime. That's all I have for this evening.
And I want to go backwards here a little bit, under the chairman's report. First of all, I'd like to make a motion under new business C, discussion on Lake Winnemod.
Second.
Is there any further discussion or questions? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? None. So under new business C, Lake Winnemod. I went to a meeting with, Alan was there and Michael was there. And we got the approval for the funds to repair the culvert and drainage at the crossroads at Crestwood Park. Okay, on August 18th, that massive downpour that we had, it got damage all around, damaged that area severely. It probably would have been okay if what it was designed to do originally could have happened. But that was designed before all the houses and everything that was built up above the course was done. So that the amount of water that was estimated to go through there probably doubled, tripled, quadrupled because of that construction up there. When Michael had everything spec'd out, we went way bigger, knowing that if anything else gets built up there, it all comes back towards the course, just the way, certificates of occupancy and stuff, they really don't check drainage nowadays. They drain off on other people's property and stuff like that, whatever happens to it happens to it. So right now, as we speak, that project is underway up at the golf course. Kenny is up there today, he can give you, I wasn't today, he can give you a much clearer view after the meeting if you wanna know. But yeah, it's done, and they've also added in the drainage coming off the hill by the pro shop into there, so it's much bigger and it's gonna go right out to the lake, so that problem in the future, again, I've heard all, it was a 5-year storm, a 25-year storm, a 50-year storm. Here, what was a huge storm, whatever year you wanna put on it, it was huge. But that thing was taken care of. I will tell you, I got a little nervous at that meeting because they tacked it on, it wasn't a separate item. They tacked it on to the communications discussion that was happening, which took quite a bit of time because there was a question about it only being 1 bid, not 3 bids. But the way it was explained, Chief Brownlee from the fire department said that we got it through the state of Connecticut. The state of Connecticut goes out and does the bidding, which somebody at the Crestbrook Golf Course Subcommittee, we asked, I think Joe asked about co-op. So it's sort of like a co-op deal for our communication system in Watertown, where we got the best price for Motorola, even though it was only 1 bid, because they're in with the state, other areas around there, so. Like, I was very well satisfied with the explanation of how it's done to keep the costs down for the individual town. But I got nervous when that went down, because this project was tailed. I was hoping that something like that would have been separate. And it was put out as a park of recreation, it was not the golf course. Only because that driveway services tennis courts, swimming pool, restaurant, pickleball. Ball is huge. I go up there all the time, and I want to say it's 85 to 90% pickleball to tennis when I'm up there, when I see people playing up there, which is great. I'm glad to see everybody out. It's good, you know, maybe somewhere down the line, pickleball courts are a lot smaller, we need a lot less room. So maybe there'll be somewhere in the near future that we could look at putting pickleball courts up, dedicated to pickleball somewhere else in town, but that's for future discussion. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to now our regular agenda here, subcommittees. Golf course subcommittee.
I need to add something to the agenda also, so I'm gonna make a motion under new business 8D, 2025 Crestbrook Park golf rates.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried.
Okay.
Ms. D.
As many of you know, some of you do not, our golf pro has decided to not renew his contract as of December 31st of this year. So we'll be actively searching for a new golf pro. So we've got some paperwork to do, we're gonna do some discussing on how we want to word it. You know, there were some discussions of him staying, I guess we're too far, the gaps were a little too large, so he has decided to move on. Gonna miss him, got along well with him, I think everybody could get along well with him. So,
Did he already find something, you know?
we don't really know, I've heard, yes, I've heard I had heard it, when all this first started coming out about his contract being up and he hadn't let, was going, I had heard, yes, he's looking at something the next state over.
Oh.
And, I mean, he has a lot, I think he's got a few options in his bag all along.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
knowing him and knowing where a lot of the golf range equipment, driving range equipment came from, he used to own a driving range, so he's got, you know, I wish him the best, you know, he was nothing but great for the course, the people, the golfers really liked him. He worked well with everybody, he was always upbeat and positive, and when you ran into him, you know, wish him the best. You know, I wish we could have worked it out, but I wish him the best.
The course is what we needed from him.
Yeah.
To resurrect it from where it was, and get it to, you know, the number of rounds every year going up, like that, so it was.
So, but again, moving on, And of course, I was up there the other day, the course is in great shape, the culvert is almost done. You know, they're working on it for the last 2 days and you can't get up around lot A, you have to go through the lower lot, and up around and back door to all the parking lots. Makes it a little hairy driving around up there, cause you know, I went up there at the end of the senior league yesterday and it's, you know. I kind of just pulled over and let them all come out. But no, I mean, like they were saying, the course is in great shape. The guys are doing a great job blowing leaves all day. Your boy was miserable. He was one on the blower on the greens. He finally said, "We just finished the last green." I'm sure it was back out there. I'm sure it started blowing again. But no, I know 95% of the leaves are down now up there. But they're gonna have to maintain them. You're gonna get windstorms through, you know, it's very gusty up there, so they've been doing a fantastic job. Of course, itself was in great condition. It's dry because it's been dry, but you know, kudos to them. You know, it's their season's winding down. I'm sure they're gonna welcome that rest. So there's one more tournament the day after Thanksgiving. It's going to 2-man scramble in memory of a man that got, I don't remember his name, was on the senior league for years. So again, just wish Marty the best and, you know, hope he goes back to seasons once in a while. That's it.
Whole business.
So before you go on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to your chairman's report. Are you sure it said it was for the park and rec at the town meeting? Because I swore it said it was for the golf.
It said park and recreation.
Good, because it was for the golf course. I got another question, because it said it uses AARP money. If it's for park and rec, that's fine. But you also mentioned FEMA. Are we gonna get money back from that, do you think?
I mentioned FEMA, so I could have misspoke.
Okay.
I was just thinking all the money from
You might get a lot of
the
them.
last storm and stuff, if it was all tied into that.
No, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
FEMA did review it though, right? I think FEMA did go to the golf course and see.
They may have, but the town may have decided to take if there were extra unappropriated ARPA funds to divert it. I'm not sure.
There was
they
no
did or
way.
didn't.
Yeah, okay, because they had to spend the ARPA money.
And the timing, the ARPA funds, which were already here, a lot easier to allocate than FEMA and trying to get it. That was one of the.
No, they
things we
had
were
to spend the
concerned
ARPA
about.
money, so they did that. The
Right,
right,
they're losing.
The ARPA
Yeah,
money,
they have to spend.
they had to spend.
our money
And-
was destined to replace all the sidewalks in town.
Yeah. They didn't get around to
And
it.
so I knew I predicted that a year ago that wasn't gonna happen. So,
And for us, the timing, because we didn't want to get in too close to Thanksgiving, which again, and thank Michael for really putting me a push on it, because that affects the restaurant with their holiday parties and
It's
things like
okay.
that up there, so that could
I'm
have
happy.
affected them. So it'll be done way out of the way, and they're just starting to book their parties now, so, you know, that won't be a problem for them, people parking and using things up there. And with the way the weather's been going lately, we could be playing into December. Stuff like this will stay open.
It's gonna end hard at some point.
Oh, yeah,
Everything equals out.
we'll get one of those 15 to 18-inch snowstorms and 3 days later it's melted, but it will go over the course of that. Okay, so we move on from the subcommittee, okay, policies and procedures. You know, Michael, you're still working on all of that.
Yeah, we are making progress.
It's tough for everything, stuff like this, and now,
No.
you know, with the golf pro, we have to get that, so that steps things down, you
Things-
know, priority step in.
Yeah,
That's just one of the ways we do
there's
business.
fires, we got fires.
Okay, next one is the Staber policies. I have a couple extra copies, I don't know if anybody bought their copies of the Staber. And what I'm thinking is, because some of this, 3 copies here, okay? Two more, yeah, just fun enough for anyone, okay? I looked at it and said, so that,
So you didn't include any of the stuff I sent you? You didn't include any of the stuff on state funded I sent you?
yeah, I had it, but I had a problem with my
You
computer.
didn't include it, okay?
I just found out that, Windows no longer supports Windows 10 as of October of this year.
Oh, yeah, you're-
So now I'm having, I gotta go and get another computer, get Windows 11. I mean, my computer's 2008, no shame on me for waiting so long. I got my money's worth.
Yeah, the problem is you're gonna have trouble because Microsoft Word, Excel is no longer part of Windows.
So it's, this one I did in Word, so.
$100 a year.
Yeah.
What I had planned on doing, so we're not here until the bewitching hour, was I was gonna do 4 items at a time, what we wanna change for the wording and everything like that. Next meeting, come back, do another 4, and work our way down the list. 'Cause, I mean, there's 11 items total on here that I came up with. And that's not saying that somebody else has something to add to it. But I figure for time wise, and we would keep it under 20 minutes, no more than 20 minutes on what we would discuss at this meeting, and table it and keep working our way down. We have time, this is not something that has to be done right away. And we'll work our way slowly through it so that as we're doing items, we pretty much, everybody dots their i's and crosses their t's, and we pretty much get it right going forward so that in the future, there's really not much that would ever be changed. We keep the original things that this commission is gonna do.
Do you want me to send out a copy to everybody?
Yeah, you do that, and then if his computer's still down, I have to meet with him next Wednesday, so I can bring him a hard copy
Okay.
on Wednesday, next
By
Wednesday.
then I'll have a new computer.
Okay.
Got no choice.
Well, that brings up a second question. I don't have everybody's email address.
If
Oh, I'll just attach it to the,
you should be able to just attach it to that, a lot of the times,
Yeah.
yes.
that'll be good.
You just
Okay.
put like the
You may
first
wanna-
letter of their name and it lists.
Or if you do a reply all to that, you're gonna get everybody.
Okay.
So you might clean out some of the other ones first before you send.
You should blind copy everybody.
You got-
I don't
I don't know how to do that.
Well, what about if you send it to Mike and Mike can have somebody send it out to everybody?
Yeah, I'd rather, like, wanna do that, instead, I guess.
I can send it to you. No,
Yeah.
okay.
I think you have to be a little bit careful about how much you communicate by email, even
Right.
Yes.
as a commission.
It's got.
Cause you're not, we're
across the
not,
front of it.
Yeah. just
we're not
draft
voting on
something.
something.
Just draft
You're
something.
sending information out, okay? To commission members, we're not voting on anything, we're not putting anything out to public yet, so we're not in violation of freedom of information.
You have to see it across the front.
Very good with that,
Okay, thank you.
okay. The first one I put down was, again, we can go back later and say that this chronological sequence, we're gonna change it. I'm just gonna do the first 4, and when we're done, getting wherever we wanna have anything, then we can go back and say, okay, number 1 should be number 3 and whatever. And the first one was, the Director of Parks and Recreation will confirm the receipt of check from the Connecticut Endowment Foundation. Okay, first of all, the word endowment should not be there. It's the Connecticut Foundation. Okay, so endowment is out. Which is received approximately March 7th of each calendar year.
How was you supposed to know?
Well, that's it. When it comes in, okay, the notification should be coming to Michael.
And if he doesn't get it in March, then he should be
Then he
worried
can say,
about
okay.
that.
And he can report at the annual meeting, say, yes, I got the notification. And then the next ones that we're gonna go over actually happen.
Make a suggestion. Our meetings are at the first week of the month. Why don't we change that to March 1st? So at the first meeting in March, we'll know about the sacred fund.
If it's
Well,
No, because it comes in later
No,
than that.
because it doesn't come on the, it comes approximately.
That's not our date that we get.
By the bequest, it comes, or by something that the Connecticut Foundation
Yeah.
does, it comes after their meeting in March in the first week of March or something.
Yeah.
Then they decide what's distributed.
Yep, so it would just be.
Then April 7th.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, make it April
Yeah,
first.
April should be fine,
April Fool's meeting.
That's okay.
first meeting in April.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, any other changes?
It just depends how we're interpreting that first sentence. Are we saying that the director of park, are we just saying the director of park and recs should
She's
be
gonna
on the
notify this
lookout?
commission and it got here.
No, I thought that was on the sixth one down. Something about the April commission, I thought I read.
No, number 6 is.
Oh, no,
That's 5.
Park and Rec committee will review status and discuss possible action, okay, that's different too.
Yep, that's okay. The only other change was I just, at the end, I put each calendar year. Because it's not a fiscal year. It's not gonna affect any fiscal, it's just a calendar year. That we get notification in a calendar year, not a fiscal year, that's all.
But does that mean we can only spend, we have to spend it in that fiscal
We
year?
don't have to spend any
No,
of
we don't have
it.
to spend anything.
Thank you.
No, we don't have to spend anything, we have the right to do that.
Okay.
Number 2, the director of Parks and Recreation will ensure the check is credited to the proper account with the finance department. Okay, Lisa did have problems. Check, by the time she found out that we got it, they said, oh no, we haven't got that yet, and all of a sudden miraculously, 3 months later, it showed up.
I can give you the.
And it was credited in wrong, she made sure there's a special account specifically for the stable account.
Is there a certain name of the account?
The account number started with a, I think, an 01 and a 3-digit number, then the department number, and then the account number.
So the
But I think it's for all the special account numbers and statements in that special account number. Okay,
this way here, the director making sure that the check is in there, so there's not an oops,
Yeah, but
and it gets spent.
can we specifically say to make sure that it's credited to the XYZ account? Because that's the one that.
Yes, we could, if we can get the number to that account, we could put that in here.
I didn't know if it was a number or just a name.
no, it's gotta be a number, otherwise they
Yeah.
lose it.
Okay, then, yeah, if Al, if you have that, if you know which one.
I'll see if I can get it for you.
Just, okay, we'll leave that one open and we'll just put number of account. Yes, we can
Now,
certainly put that to make sure that, yeah, because if there's a question, then it's right here, it's okay, this is the account where it belongs. Anybody can look it up. Okay, number 3. Parks and Recreation Commission will review the status and discuss possible action on any use of the funds at the April monthly full commission meeting. Now, if we're not gonna get, because April 1st is when we should receive it, okay? Do you wanna push that out to May 1st, to give people time to, give us a month for up above to happen, go out to May 1st? Or a May meeting, May monthly meeting.
But what if which is fine, we can put May, but what if like in November, somebody says, hey, this is coming up, we may wanna consider using the funds, some of the funds for that. I mean, it doesn't, we're not just limiting ourselves to May to decide.
No,
what
but
to
you're
do
gonna
with
have,
funds.
you wanna create a hit list of things you may wanna do. And then emergencies will precede
Okay,
the hit list.
all right,
And it also just says possible action,
true.
so we're not committing ourselves to anything.
We might just talk about, the possible action may be saying, hey, we're building the fund up for a huge project.
Yeah,
So at this point in time, but then like Kenny said, an emergency comes up.
sure.
And say, well, we're gonna have to redirect in November and say, well, the emergency needs to be taken care of. And we all agree and deduct the funds from that and go from there. Okay. Here's one. Fund will maintain a minimum balance of $25,000 at all times. My thinking behind that was that we zeroed it out to get the dog park done. And we started over, so we had 2 years running now when we didn't touch it, we're building the fund back up. That number. Too high, too low?
I will say, at least from a wording perspective, that I would make some sort of adjustment, because eventually we're gonna receive our final check. And so that in the future, they don't have to change that wording to say maybe like, as long as we're.
There's no final check.
It's perpetual.
It's perpetual,
Yeah.
This is perpetual.
like it's forever.
Yes,
It's the
Yeah,
eternal
that's the
flame.
interest off the money.
That's right, interest off of it.
Okay, yeah, then.
Yeah, we get the interest on it, yeah.
The only thing I would say is that, maybe you put in there a proviso, because if you say something in absolute terms.
Yeah.
Should it say unless unanimous consent of the commission?
Yes,
Just a little bit of, to get a whole commission to vote unanimously, I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty.
So remove the at all times,
Well, I'm just
minimum
throwing that out
balance
there.
of 25,000, and then the wording you had to set a second.
Yeah, so unless,
Unless,
unanimous consent of the
Yeah.
commission, or something along those lines.
Comma, unless, okay,
Yeah.
we can add
Yeah,
that,
just
comma.
25,000 is a pretty healthy
it is.
balance to maintain.
But you don't wanna maintain 25, because all of a sudden you're $5,000 short on what you wanna do, but you don't wanna go below 25, you can't go below 25,000.
You wanna try to.
Unless by
Unless
unanimous
unanimous
consent.
decision of the
Right.
commission.
I'm just wondering if that number
I don't know,
was,
supermajority is not enough?
25 is too high?
that's what I'm.
No, we would
There's no
say-
minority representation on this board, is there?
Was that?
Is there minority
Yes,
representation?
oh,
on this
yes,
board?
yeah.
Okay, next question, 25,000, we can talk about it, the number.
No, I mean, a limited, if there's, sometimes there's
I
no.
would just throw out there for a starting point.
Either supermajority, I mean, what I'm trying to do is take politics out of this thing. Because you don't wanna end up with a situation where all the Republicans vote yes, and the Democrats vote no, and,
We tend to cry, by the way.
well, no, but, you know, I just want, if you do unanimous, then
I don't
everybody,
even know.
Republicans and Democrats
Oh, I don't either.
agree, but that shouldn't even apply to this commission.
All right, so then just maybe add unanimous of the members present.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
in the commission. In
At
the,
that meeting, right?
Meeting.
Say that, yeah.
This commission's 5 too.
Okay, yeah, I've got a little time, so we'll go do one more. Okay, let's go back, brought up the 25, what's everybody, is 25 too high, too low?
how much do we get on average?
Okay, about 75,000 a year.
75, 80.
So we
I
should have.
like the point about being able to go below, we need to. but-
You could, in the wording, so it doesn't matter.
What's the
But I
number
think
you
you
wanna
wanna,
put?
you wanna leave something in there to keep it open,
Yes.
Yeah.
so you don't wanna strip
And
it.
then strict, another, if we do a large project,
Right.
it's gotta have something for.
So maybe you make it 15, you know, I mean. it's sort of an arbitrary-
I'm all right with 25, I go down to 20.
The thing is, I think 25 is fine, because you're putting in 50 every year, and
If you're putting
Put
75.
75 in.
But no, I'm saying, but if you're keeping it at 25 though, like say you spend 50 a year, for example.
Oh, right.
You're still getting, you're still incurring 50 a year.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
Yeah.
right, yes.
Yeah. So I personally think 25 is fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Well,
Yeah,
what did you suggest?
I didn't have a
Okay.
suggestion, but 25 is a pretty healthy balance
I'm
to
all right with
maintain.
25.
We'll do it this way. Anybody for 5,000? Anybody for 10,000? I got 10, I got 10. 15,000.
Wait, just keep the 25 based on the wording that we're
Yeah,
adding.
because there's,
Yes.
what's that
That
wording,
is good.
that wording opens the door.
Nobody wants to go higher?
No.
Okay, we'll keep the wording at 25, that's all. That's all. Right, the last one for tonight. Okay, the time limit, okay? A priority list of projects will be maintained and updated yearly. Okay, at the May commission meeting now. Moved it up from April to May. May commission meeting. Items can be added, deleted, or the sequence of priority changed by vote of the commission. That's what we're talking about, we can add something on, or we can see something that
Yeah.
we feel, this isn't, last year was a big priority, but this now is, the commission on the early thing can go in, and of course, the emergency thing is always available, if something emergency comes up. But this way here, it'll be updated, so the people in the community know, they're saying, well, the list got 5 items, we're gonna go in the bottom. Well, no, you may not go in the bottom, you may go to number 2 or number 1, depending on what the need of the community is.
So the only thing I would, see, I have a problem with this whole art thing, so bear with me. So, but if you have a priority list of legacy projects, not projects, legacy projects, because you don't want somehow, some way for this fund to be doing things the town should be doing anyway.
Yeah. That
So
was one of my
I-
major concerns.
I think if you make them legacy projects, they're gonna be in keeping with what Jack Staver wanted us to do with this money.
So I don't know how legacy resolves that.
Well-
Because, and I just thought by definition of what this endowment fund was for,
Right.
was so that the town couldn't do things they wanted with it.
That's not guaranteed.
But I thought, that's why I thought this,
This document might not be able to do that unless we word it correctly. I think your point is well taken. We don't want somebody else dipping their hands into this.
no, absolutely not.
So one of the things it talks about is the statement is for the park and rec capital improvements, specific capital improvements. I thought we might want to take the capital improvements suggested by the director, but he convinced me that it should be special. Jack Straver's type of project.
Right.
So I think we should have a separate list of projects that we would consider for the state.
So if you.
Only for this.
If you expand it a little bit, then maybe you can sort of word it in there and say a prior list of legacy projects in keeping with Jack Staver's wishes.
But,
Or something along those lines, because,
or can we say something like it has to be approved by the commission?
Definitely, and I think you gotta spell it out that it's
It-
not for any
If you.
town-related projects.
If you go down to, maybe I should have combined this one, okay, skip over the next one, and the next one does say the endowment must be used for capital improvement projects.
Park and
Park and
rec
rec.
capital
Okay,
improvement
so
project.
if we put park and rec in there, park and rec, capital improvement projects. should be
Oh,
sort
but I
of-
think, I still think I like the legacy were approved by this commission.
What does legacy mean?
I'm not sure, it's there for a
to
while.
me, it's a
Jack
leg.
Staver's legacy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Bruce is like-
Oh, well, then be more specific.
As opposed
I
to,
wasn't sure.
this is an old project.
Down at the end of the sentence, going back up to, says deleted or sequence of priority change by vote of the commission. So it is in there that it has to be by the vote of the, anything.
Yeah.
It has to be the vote of the commission.
Good, Thank you.
So that's in there. And I agree with you, that's very important, the vote of the commission
okay.
before it goes anywhere.
Maybe move that one where you just read about the park and recs capital improvement projects, move that one underneath the priority list one.
Oh, yeah, we can move them all. When you're all
Yeah.
done, we're all done to get them all worded out, right? Then we'll
Yeah,
list it
just
where we
while
want
you're
them, how we
updating
want them to
it,
be.
just-
I had put a time limit on it.
Oh, wait, do we want to update that to say legacy or Jack Staver legacy?
Yeah, I put legacy, I'm gonna put legacy projects.
I like legacy projects potentially because we have been, somebody willed us some money, not a lot, $2,500 or something like that,
Yep.
but.
Yeah.
That should go towards, I don't know, we'll have to give that some thought, but.
Because, you know, my fear is that if you, I'll go back to the yard, okay? You get the yard money and 25 years, 30 years from now, somebody says, what did you do with the money? And I'm gonna make up something. We bought a street sweeper. Well, that's already at the junkyard, so what did you do? Versus doing something that's gonna be a legacy project that is going, that 50 years from now, people are gonna see it and they're gonna say, well, we got that with the art
We
money.
built that little park on Main Street
Yes.
instead.
Exactly.
I agree, but I think you should put like, I think one of you guys said it, the Jack Staver legacy.
A priority list of legacy projects
Who's on the ARPA committee? I brought up.
Jack Staver legacy.
I brought the.
in accordance
It's not gonna have one.
with Jack Staver's wishes.
Somebody's gonna argue with this. How do we know what his wishes are?
Jack Staver's wishes for the endowment.
I think Lisa left something, didn't she, Lisa leave
Yeah.
something?
It's got a good handle on it.
So Lisa left some information about what he was all about
Okay.
and what he wanted to do with stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, legacy.
Right,
Jack Staver sounds like the type of person that would be more than pleased to take over and recognize the Sandy Hook victims at the playground at Veterans and also maybe do a pickleball court
Yeah.
Mhm.
in Jack Staver's memory, and he could honor the
Yep.
Sandy Hook when we rebuild that playground up there.
Right.
That is something that may be attainable in 5 to 6 years with, so give that some thought.
okay, so we'll make those changes for now,
You can't leave it.
all right, and then the next meeting, we can review some more. And If we get through them fairly quick, like next time, maybe not, and we'll go back and we'll do a chronological listing of where we want. Okay, and then we'll go forward, and then we'll have something for the John and Jack Stadium Endowment Fund.
We may also have to incorporate some of those. Points.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it was the next meeting we're gonna have.
Yeah.
it was just the first plus and cans, and most of it was protecting the funds from somebody else.
Yes, yeah, sure. That's our biggest thing is because people now, they can get their hooks into anything. And you gotta understand with the cost of everything and running government and everything, that's the way it is. You gotta try to get what you can get as quick as you can get.
So we have like, I don't wanna call them money makers, but two money makers that fall into this department. The golf course funds that come in and the saver funds.
Well,
That
the
people would
golf
want.
course funds must stay within the golf.
I know, but a lot of hands trying to reach in probably to get it.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna
I'm sorry.
stop that, I thought, right?
Yeah, we stopped.
No,
We're still paying it back though.
After this year, though.
we need to talk
Hopefully.
specifically about
Get the figures after.
how it's funded.
How it's funded.
Because I believe, okay, because I've looked at some of the ancient history, the golf course is necessary for this town.
It is.
It is absolutely necessary. It's a benefit to the town.
Yeah.
Okay, and if there's naysayers out there saying it doesn't pay for itself, one of these days, we're gonna have to address that issue.
We've been addressing that for years and it's always, I don't
Okay,
wanna go,
okay, well, all I'm
I don't wanna go
saying
into
is,
that.
when we have a chance, we
Yeah.
ought to talk about how we fund that.
Maybe we have to invite the town council to one of our meetings
And
and
you're done that.
give a present, we done that?
No, do not do that.
Alright.
We already have that, except the town council member, Mr. DeSena, again, is absent tonight,
I
so.
was told we do.
He's our liaison that takes what we talk about up to the town council, so.
No, but I meant everybody,
Well,
not just,
we had a few, we had more of a few.
yeah.
They have,
That's fine.
you know, they go to quite a few different meetings and stuff and attack on another night.
Yeah, it's difficult.
You know, and they meet twice a month in public. And all the subcommittees and everything that happen behind the scene, they donate a lot of time, you know, to me, I think that would be unfair to, no. Make it optional, invite them,
Should invite them.
but if they don't come, don't be upset, because they do spend a lot of time. I give a lot of credit for that. Okay, so, not for tonight for the stager, we'll get these ones going, and the next meeting we'll continue on with. Okay, new business. Okay, review and consideration of submitted applications for 2024.
All right, we only have one. So I'm gonna make a motion that we accept Sunset Grill's car show for June 22nd, 2025. It's a Sunday, will be from 9 AM to 2 PM, same deal as last year. They know they work very well with people to do all the parking and everything. That's the motion, and then I'll just clear.
I'll second the motion.
All right, then, they originally wanted a rain date of June 29th. We told them no, because that would tie up the weekend for the golf course itself. Should they get rained out, it will be decided from there. They also wanted 3 o'clock. We told them no, last year was 2, and 2 worked well. Joe Romano was at the meeting when this was presented at the meeting. So they're very well aware of what was said, so.
Kenny, did we say that it was okay for the rain date to be 2 weeks after?
No. We didn't give them a definitive answer.
Okay.
They said maybe July.
Yeah.
We never really gave them a definitive answer.
But we typically know, let's say 30 days before, I'm not saying.
Yes, we'll know, yes.
But maybe 30 days before, if the date is clear, maybe within that 30-day
Yes.
window, we can let them have
That,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Just don't block it off now.
Right.
Because we have like a 60-day window for a tournament.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so they're gonna have plenty of notice if they can have possible rain.
Yeah. At this particular point in time, no.
Right, and no, I agree 100%, yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion's carried. Okay, the 2025 commission meeting schedule. Questions for anybody?
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't read it.
Is it gonna be in the minutes?
yes, it's gonna be, it's in the packet
Yes.
online.
Online. Okay, it's obviously the first Thursday of every month. And as I said in the subcommittee meeting, what we've done in the past, the July meeting, July 3rd is a Thursday, which makes 4th, 5th, 6th long weekends. We get to the June meeting, and we see if people have plans to go on vacations with the family, grandkids, anybody. We'll say, no, we're not gonna have enough for a quorum. At that time there, we'll cancel the 2 meetings, say for lack of quorum. And so here, if there's something that's really pressing, we can all have a special meeting. But I can't remember in the past 15 years in July having something
July.
that needed an emergency meeting that we would do that, but that is an option if we need it.
I like the idea of cancel because of lack of quorum.
Right.
Not just cancel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just because of lack of quorum, and you can have lack of quorum way ahead of time, people aren't gonna be there,
They know.
okay? So, without seeing, if somebody just wants to pass that off for a quick look at it, the dates are all Thursdays.
First Thursday, they're all mentioned, they're all first Thursday of the month.
I can look it up.
They didn't make none of that work out.
Oh, it's not my birthday.
So, for that November,
Mine was close to
for
mine.
that November 6th day, do we just, that's not election day, right?
No, it's Thursday.
Okay.
Election day, July 4th.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday's election day, Thursday, yeah. Okay, so
Just like this year.
are there any questions, comments, deletions, corrections? Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion's carried for the regular meeting schedule for 2025.
Who moved and seconded that, please?
I don't remember.
Peg did.
Peg second.
Peg
I
seconded.
did it.
Ken,
I first,
You
okay.
first.
Ken was the one, I took.
Yeah, thank you.
Move on to B. Michael Lake Winnemem.
C.
C.
Let me see, yeah.
I'm sorry, B is finished, C, move on to C, Lake Winnemem.
Thank you. I wanted to keep the commissioner apprised to a report that came to the department, to a resident about a tree that had fallen into Lake Winnemem. And he originally spoke with Public Works, or eventually Public Works referred the call to me, and I reached out to the patron, told him that I would visit his property, which I did. He gave me permission to go to the water via his property, and me and Gary Smith went down to the lake, walked to the waterfront, saw the fallen tree. It's quite a big tree. The person wants the town to remove the tree. I consulted with Public Works, several members of Public Works, including the director, the foreman, and for the town to do something like this is just not feasible, to remove fallen trees that are fallen into lakes, ponds, rivers, areas adjacent to parks, walking trails. It would be a very difficult task for us to be able to maintain. So my answer to him was that it's not feasible to just do it as a one-off, if you will, because it's something that can be seen from his property. It would be, if that was our standard, we would constantly be doing forestry and things like that. So he had gone out and gotten a quote from a local contractor as to how much it would cost. He feels the quote is very reasonable, although I don't think he's taken into account some of the other factors. You weigh pros and cons when it comes to doing things near in a water source. There are people that will say, including the tree warden here in town, that it's best to just leave the tree where it lay. So he's been a little bit vocal at the town council meeting. He's sent me several emails since the answer was that it's not feasible for the town to do. However, I think it is something that we should consider, we should talk about as a commission, potentially putting some funding in the budget, request for an analysis of lake management. Do we expand on our lake management and do some more studies? Is there an appetite for the town to invest money to go out at both Lake Winnemucca and Echo Lake and Sylvan Lake, and maybe do some forestry at the waterfronts. I'm not sure if the town would, if it would meet your priority list. But that's again up to, I think, for you folks to consider, and maybe that's something that we include in the next budget proposal.
I have a question though, is the tree is on his property?
The tree is on his neighbor's property, to the best of my knowledge.
On his neighbor's property,
Yes.
okay, regardless, it's on somebody's
But
property,
it's his neighbors.
isn't it their responsibility to move the tree?
It's hard to say whose responsibility it is.
It's in the lake.
Is his neighbor vocal about it?
I believe that his neighbor is maybe not at the property, maybe in
Comes
a
with
health
one.
re facility or something like that, and may not be in the home.
But how do we
So
not,
limited communication, I believe, between the two neighbors.
but how do we not know if it's our responsibility or not to move that tree? I mean, if it's, if,
We're
if it's on
saying we are not, even if it is our responsibility, we're not taking it down. There is no safety issue, there's no hazard, you have to pro and con.
no, I thought that we could say, hey, it's not our responsibility to move the tree, it's
Well,
on your,
right.
it's on your
The
property.
lake is our
Yeah, but
responsibility.
that's why I was asking, was the tree on his property? Was it on park property or his property?
Somebody else's.
Well, it was on somebody else's, another resident's property, but so
We
there was.
believe it to be. I don't know if you'd actually know that for certain without a survey or telling you that or doing much.
But the
you know,
tree definitely is not.
On town property, it's on
It's not
private
on-
property.
right, it's on
It's neighbor
private
or it's
property.
in.
I can't say
Oh, that we don't know.
definitely.
Oh.
It appears as if it's on neighbors, on his
Because if
neighbor's
a tree
property.
in
And
my
it
yard-
fell over into town-owned property, which is Lake Winnemucca.
Yeah, oh, so it's not even on his property, it's in the lakes, and
So
you're,
it's obscure in his view.
oh god.
It's not obscure, he says it's just.
Except for the recreation area up there, all the land around that lake is all privately owned.
So-
Is there a Lake Winnemucca?
And the dam, I'm
Association?
sorry, the dam,
Not there.
So if a tree fell from my yard into Al's yard, I don't have to do anything, but I think you can do it.
I had to pay my neighbor had a tree fall on my house.
we had that
So-
situation.
It cost me $1,000.
Something I've been bringing up for the last several years, we had the situation already, Jericho Road. There I said the big tree in the guy's yard came down, and then when it got to the town property line, he cut up on his side of the property, but whatever fell
Right.
on us, it's bad, fell onto us, it's
Right.
force of nature.
Yes,
So we're in that situation, and we can't tell him that he's gotta come on and clean it.
no,
Same thing with the road.
right, I get it, that's what I'm getting at, so I don't know why this guy keeps
Going
saying you
back
have to.
for,
it's our
Kenny's
responsibility.
probably the only one that might remember this, okay?
You're being tested.
When we had the Paletta walking trail donated to the town, Joe Paletta Senior went in, he cut down. The tree had fallen off and made it a nice walking way. In the meantime, we had storms and stuff, and the trees came down, and the question came up. And at that point in time, we were told to let Mother Nature and all the ecosystems take care of the tree. So they'll go in the water, up there they had the beavers went on to some branches and whatever they needed off it. And if you go up to Echo Lake, you will see there are a couple trees that have come down in the water. And at that time, we were told that the ecosystems do their thing. So we never thought about cutting them or taking them down, because we had some complaints from fishermen, oh, that was one of the best fishing holes, now the tree is there, and things like that. And at that point in time, this commission decided that, no, we're gonna follow the expert's advice. I believe Roy Kavanaugh was the tree warden at the time, and he said, yeah, you let it stay, let the nature
So-
take care of it.
I guess your question was, do we want to come up with something to put into the budget for next year for?
Yeah, I think you guys could consider it. I owe the gentleman, I told him that I would at least try to have you folks consider whether or not that's a priority that you think you want to put forward to the town.
How much do you think it would add to the budget?
Well, I suggested that you would wanna kind of do some kind of study, right, an environmental impact, a little bit, know somewhat, that might cost you $5. That alone, I know people are like, get shocked when I say numbers,
Yeah.
but I don't like to undershoot.
Yeah.
I'd say $25,000 a year, something like that might cost.
Mr. Chairman, could we table this discussion to a different meeting just until we find out a little bit more information about the impact, just because with the way the town's finances have been going and will probably continue to trend, we're already budget strapped as it is, and us presenting this, they're just gonna look at us and be like, are you serious? Like, I'm just being honest with the way I see it.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
I was gonna say, no, we don't.
My take on it was gonna be that I think that it's beyond what this commission should be discussing. It falls back on the tree warden of the town. If the tree warden of the town doing his job, who decides that he should be going to the town council for the money.
Unfortunately,
That's
it
his
falls
job.
on the property owner. And
So,
if we're paying or even pretending to pay for something, you're establishing a precedent.
that's right.
And you don't wanna do that.
Well, and we're seeing, because it got brought up about the environmental impact, whatever it may be, I think it's at least good for us to at least wait to see what the experts say, and then maybe make a decision.
I don't think we should even spend the $5 million.
I have lake property, there are trees
All over
that
the
fall
place.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And they stay there.
So I would just say, what do they do at Bannerman?
The trees fall, they stay there,
So, and what happens at like Hitchcock?
like Winnipesaukee.
The trees fall.
They
Yeah,
stay
Go
there.
like they fall.
Yeah, so I was just curious,
We
what
set a
other
precedent.
towns,
Yes.
other towns that own lakes, what do they do? And I think, to your point, Beck, that's what they're gonna say. They fall in and.
That's right.
Then we should.
So I'd like to make a motion,
Go ahead, I'll second
I'd like to make a motion that we do not find this topic a priority for the responsibility of this commission. And we'll just leave it at this.
it. I'll second, then it goes second.
Sure. Hang on, I'll give Michael a chance to write that down. We're at a large one. Yeah, I do.
It was considered, discussed, and decided,
Yeah,
no action.
yeah, it was considered, it was discussed, and there was no action.
Okay, thank you. Pat made a motion.
Yeah, I made the motion.
I seconded, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried, thank you. And D, Crestbrook Park,
This would be quick. I'm gonna make a motion that for the Crestwood Park 2025 rates, that they currently remain the same as 2024. I'll discuss it a little later.
Second.
Just because of the new pro coming in, when the new pro comes in, changing around a lot of logistics and a lot of the finances, I don't think is now the time to do it. So that's hence we'll leave them the same and we'll just move forward for another year.
a second on the motion?
Yeah.
Corinne? Is there any further discussion? I think it's a good idea. I think we're making a lot of money up there now, and, you know, some of the other courses are probably gonna go up a little bit, and you know, what, it ain't Watertown, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, go. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried.
Motion adjourned.
No, you beat them.
Second.
I'm looking for somebody else.
Thank you.
All in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
So
Any
the
abstentions? Motion
Massachusetts.
carried, thank you, everyone.
Pronunciation.
Who seconded the
Thanks.
second structure, the price structure?
Pricing for
Corinne did.
So
Got to see Ryan Seacrest this weekend. Where? In Nashville.
Nice.
And,
If-
What were they doing? Wheel of Fortune?
American Idol.
quickly for
Doing something at halftime.
No, and